Do I have to eat it? Can't just tell you the cupcake is good. How would you know? And you could see that beautiful lime curd in the middle. It's tangy, and sweet. Oh, and limey. It is so good. You have to try this cupcake. You have to try it. Welcome to the Fancy Cakery. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we are making pink Limeade Margarita Cupcakes with a lime curd filling. And I'm gonna confess, I do not like tequila. But you can't make a margarita without tequila, so it wouldn't be authentic. So we're gonna make an authentic margarita cupcake today with tequila, just a little bit. And I didn't want to make a lemonade cupcake because nobody makes margaritas with lemonade. So we're gonna use limes and we're gonna make limeade. And what's good about this recipe is that we're gonna use the whites in the cake and we're gonna use the yolks in the curd. So there's no saving and figuring out what you're gonna do with one or the other. So to begin, we're gonna separate our egg yolks and our egg whites. And I just bang it on the counter and it makes less shells all over the place. And I use my hand to separate it. I find it's easier and it works. And your hand is free. So you're gonna mix your baking powder into your flour and you're gonna sift it. I'm zesting my limes and I am petrified of this zester. It'll take off your fingers. Be careful. And I forgot to take out my butter to soften, so microwave it is. And my sugar and my butter is creaming, and that takes a while. So while that is creaming, I am just going to get all my lime juice that I need. I need quite a bit, so we're just squeezing away. So we're gonna take our room temperature milk with some lemon extract and we're going to mix that together with our lime juice, and then we're gonna add our tequila. And actually, you don't taste the tequila. The cupcakes are delicious. It's limey and oh, they come out so good. So don't be scared, add your tequila. You know the alcohol bakes off in the oven, so you're not gonna get drunk. And we're gonna add our vegetable oil. And we're just gonna mix that together. And now that our butter and our sugar is nice and creamy, we're gonna add our egg whites. We're dropping our egg whites in just one at a time, a little bit at a time. And when it's all in, we're going to put it on high and see how nice and fluffy it makes the butter and the sugar. And then we're just gonna whip it. Now we're gonna slowly, and don't make a mess like me, but we're gonna add our flour alternating with our wet ingredients. And we're just gonna mix that until fully combined. Just adding a little bit at a time of each. Now we're going to give it a really good mix. Clean up. Always clean up. I'm going to add a little pink coloring to it because I just want pink. I don't want just plain white. I think it'll make a pretty contrast. So I think it's where I want it to be. I'm going to give it a really nice mix. Make sure I mix the bottom. Now it's time to put our batter into our baking cups. And I found these pretty little baking cups, and I'm going to fill these about halfway to 3/4 full. They're a little hard to get the cupcake out of, so I would say this would be perfect for an adult party. And you just give everyone spoons and they can actually just eat the cupcake out of it and don't make a mess. It's rather nice. Now we're going to get ready to make our curd. We're going to get our double boiler together and put our egg yolks in there and stir, 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 stir. If you remember nothing else, stir, stir, stir. We're going to add our sugar, and I have an electric stove, so I have to constantly play with the heat, but you cannot start this process and turn your back on it. That is the hardest thing about making curd. Actually, that's the only hard thing about making curd. So don't be intimidated. All your excess limes that you have hanging around that, you know, you just got too much. Make your lime curd, make your lemon curd. You got sour oranges, you can make sour orange curd. So just do it. Just remember what I said. Stir, stir, stir. If you don't keep stirring, you're gonna have scrambled eggs. And we're not making scrambled eggs. So now we're adding our lime juice, just a little bit at a time. We don't want to curdle the eggs, so little bit, and keep stirring. And you're going to make sure that that bowl is not actually touching the water. You just want the steam of the pot to come up and warm the bowl. So just make sure you got the right size pot for that. And also you don't want that to fall all over the floor. So, and we're going to add our little tequila. And you don't taste the tequila at all. It just gives it a little tang. And you know, like I said, that is gonna burn off so you cannot get drunk. I'm putting all my lime zest in there. We're gonna strain that out so you don't have to worry. You can put as much as you want. It really makes the lime flavor very, very strong. So I sped this up and I kind of like edited a lot of the stirring out. But as you can see, it takes a while. It's a lot of stirring. And that's really the hardest part. So stir, 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 and you see it's now starting to thicken up. That's what you want. You want it to start to thicken. And when you think it's about right, like about right there, this is as watery as it's gonna be, because as it cools, it's gonna thicken. So you are not gonna have the full thickness until it cools. And now we're just gonna put that, strain it over our cold butter cut in cubes. We took the butter just right out of the fridge. We want the butter to be cold. And we're just gonna strain that, make it nice and smooth, and make sure to get our lime zest strained out of it. Because we don't want, the lime zest will kind of over time make it more sour. So you want to get it out. You could leave it in. You could very well leave it in, and it'll just make it prettier, but I wouldn't leave all of that in. It's kind of a lot of zest. And now we're just gonna stir it over our cold butter until it's nice and creamy. And that's how you know when it's ready. Now that our lime curd is done, we're gonna put it in the fridge to cool down. You could do it overnight or just a couple hours, or you could put it in the freezer and kind of get it cooler, or you can put it over an ice bath and cool it down like that. Our cupcakes are cooling and our lime curd is in the freezer, and we're going to make our icing. We're just taking butter and we're just creaming it until it's nice and pale in color. Now we're gonna add our powdered sugar, half a cup, 1 cup at a time. And it's gonna get thick. That's why you need a strong mixer when you make icing. When it gets thick like that, you can kind of put it up and let it whip a little bit. And now we're adding our lime juice, just a little bit at a time. And you can add as much lime juice as you need to get the lime flavor that you want. If you added too much, then just add more powdered sugar. If you added too little or too much powdered sugar, then just add more lime juice. And if you ran out of lime juice, just add a little bit of milk or water until it's the creaminess that you want. And yes, I am going to put some pink because I just love pink and I think it's pretty and it's gonna make a pretty cupcake. Since these are margarita cupcakes, you can make that green. That would be good too. Just a splash of tequila, not much. And now we're whipping it and we're gonna just let it whip until it's nice and creamy. And then we can put it on low and just whip it out until we think it's as smooth as we want. So here we have our pink Limeade Margarita Cupcakes for Cinco de Mayo, or for any reason, if you have too much limes left over, or if you're having a lime themed party, or you just like limes and you want to make a pretty pink margarita cupcake. And I forgot to eat it. I can't just tell you the cupcake is good. How would you know? This is heavy. This is gonna be a mess. You could see that beautiful lime curd in the middle. It's tangy, and sweet. Oh, and limey. It is so good. You have to try this cupcake. You have to try it. Why? What if it's slack? Thanks for moving the garbage.
You're welcome.